The 3 secrets of my reverse time. I was already 80 when I first felt something strange. My body seemed lighter than the day before, my breathing deeper, my steps steadier. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But with each passing day, the feeling grew stronger, the wrinkles softened, the joints stopped aching, my thoughts became clearer. I realized I was growing younger. You may ask, how is this possible? I had no elixirs, no magical doctors, only 3 simple things that I discovered on my own. The first, gratitude. Every morning I learned to say thank you, not to a specific God, not to fate, but to life itself, for the fact that I was still breathing, for the fact that I could still see the light and hear the voices of those I loved. At first it seemed like a formality, but soon I noticed my heart felt lighter, as if shedding decades. The second, movement for joy. I stopped torturing myself with heavy exercises or advice from books. I simply moved the way I did as a child. I lifted my arms to the sky, as if reaching for the sun. I walked barefoot on the grass, as if playing. Sometimes I twirled, as if I had caught the music of the wind, and suddenly my body remembered flexibility, lightness, joy. The third, warmth toward others. I began to treat people the way I wished they had treated me when I was a boy. I stopped arguing over trifles, started smiling even at strangers, helping whenever I could. And do you know what happened? Inside me a light rekindled, that same childlike, genuine light. Since then, the years seem to go backwards. My grandchildren laugh. Grandpa, if this goes on, you'll be younger than us. And I just smile, because I understood, age is not numbers in a passport. Age is how you breathe, how you move, and how you love. Entry 1. When I first noticed the changes, it was frightening. The neighbor said, "Savely, you look rested, younger even." I brushed it off, but that evening I stood long before the mirror. The wrinkles around my eyes had softened, my back was straighter. Could it really be happening? Entry 7. Every morning I thank life. And here is the strange part. The more I give thanks, the more little joys come my way. A bird landed right on my windowsill. Rain caught me on the road, and for the first time in years I didn't run for cover. I felt the drops washing away my heaviness. Entry 14. Today I walk barefoot on the grass by the river. It felt as if I were a boy again, chasing geese. Lightness returned to my joints. Even my fingers obeyed me better. And not long ago in the mornings, I could hardly make a fist. Entry 23. I smiled at a stranger at the market. He looked embarrassed, but smiled back. I felt warmth in my chest, as if that simple gesture had smoothed out another wrinkle inside me. Entry 38. My grandchildren now ask me to show them children's games. I teach them to splash through puddles, roll down hills, skip stones across the water. They laugh out loud, and I look at my hands and think, could they really be looking like the hands of a young man again? Entry 50. I have begun to forget my real age. Sometimes in the morning I catch myself thinking about the future, as if I were 25 and everything was only beginning. To be honest, I don't know how long I have left. But for the first time in my life, it doesn't frighten me. Because now I know 3 things that turn back time: gratitude, joyful movement, and warmth toward others. Entry 73. I more and more often feel that my body is 40 again. I can run once more, not fast, but easily. People on the street ask me what my secret is, and I just smile. How can I explain that the secret is not in medicine or food, but in the soul itself? Entry 101. This morning, as I walked through the village, some boys ran up to me. They thought I was the new school teacher. I laughed, but I am your grandpa Savely. Yet they didn't believe me. Only later one of them said, but your eyes don't look old at all. Entry 127. Each day brings me closer to youth. I dream of my school, my first friends, my first steps barefoot on a summer road. When I wake, I don't at once understand, am I an old man or am I 15 again? Entry 150. Something unbelievable happened today. I looked in the mirror and saw myself as I was at 20. Thick hair, straight shoulders, but the strangest part, inside, not a trace of weariness. As if my whole life, with all its burdens and mistakes, had melted away. Entry 180. I feel that time is calling me further. If I go on, I will catch up with my younger self, the boy who had only just begun to live. And now I stand before a choice. Remain in this wonder, keep growing younger until I vanish into my own childhood, or stop, keep what I have already gained, and accept age as a friend, not an enemy. I do not yet know which I will choose. But I know one thing for certain. Gratitude, movement, and warmth toward others open this door for me. And whether I step through it or not depends only on whether I truly wish to become a child again.
We were all used to him. The old man with a quiet step and a gentle smile. He was already over 80, and we treated him with respect and care. But one day, we began to notice something strange. His face was changing. At first, barely perceptible. His eyes seemed clearer, his shoulders straighter. We thought perhaps he was just in good spirits, but with each passing day, the changes grew more obvious. His wrinkles softened, his walk became steady, his movements lighter. His voice sounded stronger, and his words carried the liveliness of youth. It was as if he was shedding the weight of years, step by step returning to the time when his strength had not yet left him. We would gather around him, unable to look away. Before our eyes, a miracle was happening. The man we had long known as a frail old grandfather was turning into someone else. An energetic man, with a sharp mind and a burning gaze. At first, we rejoiced for him. "Grandpa has come back to life," neighbor said, smiling as he passed. But in time, joy gave way to unease. The transformation was too real, too fast. The children and grandchildren began to whisper among themselves. Some said, "Maybe doctors invented a new medicine?" Others shook their heads, "No, something isn't right." And the eldest, who had known him all their lives, looked at him with envy, for their bodies continued to wither, while he seemed to walk backward along the river of time. One evening at dinner, his granddaughter couldn't hold back and asked outright, "Grandpa, how do you do it? You're getting younger?" He only smiled softly and said nothing. But in his eyes there was something that sent shivers down our spines. A secret, perhaps, or a wisdom he would never share. Day by day, the mystery deepened. His family began to watch him closely, what he ate, how he slept, where he went. They searched for hints of a secret. Yet he seemed to live as always. No miracle cures, no strange rituals, just life itself. And still he grew younger. And then we realized, the most frightening thing was not that he was changing, but that we did not know if it would ever stop. What would happen when he turned 40, 20, 10?